When it comes down to it, when your life is on the line, your handgun cannot fail. There are no second chances, no mulligans. You get one shot to get it right. Today, we're not just making a list. We're going on a journey through the evolution of the modern handgun to look at the pistols that have set the standard for reliability. These aren't safe queens. These are the sidearms that soldiers trust on deployment. They're the Dewey guns that law enforcement bets their lives on, shift after shift. And they're the tools that everyday Americans carry, day in and day out for self-defense. These are handguns that have proven their mettle in the worst places on Earth. So, if you're looking for a sidearm that will go bang every single time, you're in the right place. To understand reliability, you have to start at the beginning, or at least the beginning of the modern combat handgun. And that conversation starts with one gun, the Colt 1911. This is the masterpiece designed by the man himself, John Moses Browning. It was adopted by the U.S. military way back in 1911 and served as the standard issue sidearm through 2 world wars, Korea, Vietnam, and it's still serving in specialized units today. Think about that for a second. Over a century later, this design is still one of the most respected handguns in the world. Its genius is in its rugged simplicity, and of course, that trigger. The single-action trigger of a 1911 is the benchmark. It's short, it's crisp, and it's predictable. That's what allows a skilled shooter to achieve a level of accuracy that's just tough to beat. Platform. The classic full-size government model runs a 5-inch barrel and traditionally holds 7+1 or 8+1 rounds of hard-hitting .45 ACP. Cost. Prices are all over the map. You can find a solid entry-level model for around $800, or spend several thousand on a high-end custom-grade build. Now, is a 1911 finicky? It can be. A good one demands quality magazines and maybe a little extra love, but a well-made 1911 from a reputable company is a testament to a design that simply got it right from the very beginning. As iconic as the 1911 was, times changed. By the 1980s, the military wanted more capacity, and the 9mm Wonder 9 era was born. This led to one of the most famous showdowns in firearm history between our next 2 pistols. First, the winner of that contract. For an entire generation of service members, this pistol is known simply as the M9, the Beretta 92 FS. It served as the standard issue sidearm for over 30 years, and it cemented its place in history based on its incredible reliability. Its most famous feature is that open slide design. That big open top dramatically reduces the chance of a stovepipe malfunction because there's just a giant window for the empty brass to fly out of. It makes for a very smooth and dependable cycling action. It runs on a classic double-action, single-action system, a long, deliberate first pull for safety, and every shot after is a much lighter, crisper single-action break. Specs. The full-size model has a 4.9-inch barrel and a standard capacity of 15+1 rounds of 9mm. Cost. You can typically find one for between $700 and $800. It's battle-proven, instantly recognizable, and earned its reputation the hard way, in the field. But the Beretta didn't win uncontested. Its rival was a pistol that, despite losing the contract largely on price, would go on to become the stuff of legend, the SIG Sauer P226. Instead of becoming the standard infantry sidearm, the P226 became the pistol of choice for the most elite units on the planet. Here in the States, it earned its legendary status with the U.S. Navy SEALs. They needed a handgun that could be dragged through salt water, sand, and mud, and still be ready to run. The P226 delivered, without fail. Mechanically, it's also a DASA design, but its hallmark is that dedicated decocking lever. There's no manual safety to forget under stress. You just run the gun, and when you're done, you press the lever to safely lower the hammer on a live round. It's an incredibly fast and safe system. That full metal alloy frame gives it some heft, and trust me, that weight is your friend. It just soaks up recoil and makes for incredibly smooth follow-up shots. Specs. The P226 runs a 4.4-inch barrel with standard magazines holding 15+1 rounds of 9mm. Cost. Depending on the model, you're looking at a price between $900 and $1,200. While the metal-framed hammer guns were ruling the duty world, a plastic pistol from Austria was about to change everything. This brings us to the modern era. The Glock 19. It's not just a pistol, it's a phenomenon. It perfectly blends a concealable size, a serious capacity, and absolutely legendary, rugged construction. It's the Goldilocks gun. Not too big, not too small. The polymer frame keeps the weight down to just under 24 ounces unloaded. The design philosophy is pure, brutal simplicity. The safe action system has no external safety and no decocker. You get the exact same trigger pull from the first shot to the last. It's simple, it's fast, and it just works. And because it's so dominant, the aftermarket support is endless. You can find holsters, sights, and magazines for a Glock 19 in just about any gun shop in America. Specs. It runs a 4.02-inch barrel and carries 15+1 rounds in a standard magazine. Cost. You can find a new one for between $550 and $650, making it an incredible value. Glock's success was so massive, everyone else had to respond. This led to two of its biggest competitors, who took the striker-fired formula and added their own twists. First, the Smith & Wesson M&P 9. M&P stands for military and police, and S&W came out swinging with a secret weapon. Ergonomics. Those interchangeable backstraps were a huge deal. For the first time, you could easily tune the grip to fit your specific hand. It also has a low bore axis, which helps keep the muzzle from flipping up, so you can get back on target faster. The early triggers were a bit spongy, but they've gotten much better, and the aftermarket is massive. A full-size M&P 9 will set you back about $550 to $650. Then you have the Springfield Armory XD. It took the striker-fired formula and added a feature from an old friend, a grip safety. For a lot of folks, especially those new to concealed carry, that extra layer of mechanical safety provides real peace of mind. It's a love-it-or-hate-it feature, but the platform itself is dead reliable, with a forged slide and a tough-as-nails polymer frame. An interesting bit of trivia. It actually started life in Croatia as the HS-2000. For $550 to $600, it's another amazing value. So we have seen the timeless classic, the legendary duty pistols, and the polymer guns that completely changed the game. But what if your operational requirements demand a pistol built with a cost is no object philosophy? What if you need a gun built, quite frankly, like a German tank? For that, you have the Heckler & Koch USP. When the USP, or Universal Self-Loading Pistol, hit the market in the early 1990s, it had one singular goal: to survive and function in the absolute worst conditions on planet Earth. Its reputation for being overbuilt is not hyperbole. It is a documented fact. H&K did not just test these guns. They subjected them to a litany of brutal endurance trials that would make other pistols cry for their mommy. These tests included being frozen in a block of ice and fired, packed with mud, and subjected to extreme temperature swings. The guns just kept running. The USP was also remarkably ahead of its time. It was one of the first pistols to feature a polymer frame reinforced with steel inserts for longevity. Its most innovative feature was a modular control system that allowed a single pistol to be configured in one of 9 different ways: as a traditional DASA with a safety decocker, as a double action only, or several other variants. This modularity made it adaptable to any agency's training doctrine. You are certainly paying for that no-compromise H&K engineering, as a USP usually lands between $900 and $1,100. But if your definition of reliability is a sidearm that will function no matter how horrifically it is abused or how foul the environment gets, the H&K USP sits at the absolute top of that mountain. There you have it, a journey through the pantheon of handgun reliability. From the timeless 1911 that set the standard, to the DASA duty legends that defined an era, the revolutionary polymer guns that changed the game forever, and the over-engineered specialist built for the apocalypse. Each of these firearms represents a different philosophy for achieving the same non-negotiable goal: absolute dependability when everything is on the line. Now we have to ask you, which one of these iconic sidearms would you trust your life with? And which legendary, unfailing handgun do you believe we missed? Share your thoughts and your personal choice in the comments below. And as always, if you found this guide valuable and informative, we appreciate you sharing it. Stay safe, stay sharp, and continue to seek out the best tools for the job.